Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Silver Screen Conference. I'm your host, Digimon11. With me today are my good friend, Jova Hexion. P Pedro.
Allow me. It's me! There you go. I'm sorry, but I will not get over it. I will not get over it.
You need to go higher, Pedro. That's not right. That doesn't sound.
No, that's the thing. I'm doing the job that 4Kids couldn't be bothered to do. Speaking of that, we have Shira's here too, by the way.
Yeah, Shira's here. And because he lost his way to his house, and he this is all he has. Theo.
For the third time's the charm, as they say.
Yeah.
What did I see? Ryoga from
No, Dad, you remember, he went...
It's funny, because he was a gender swap in this product we're about to talk about.
Not really that you remember. All he has to do is jump back into the water and become a sea monster, so he can easily swim back to where he was anyway, so it's fine.
No, that's for the next movie.
Yeah. What is today's recipe, Dad?
Today's episode is... The Legend of Thunder. Or, in Japanese,
Pokémon Crystal, Raikou, Legend of Thunder.
Yeah. Okay, so here's something interesting. A Pokemon movie / OVA without Ash. Wow, that's
I actually have a question before we start anything, because I'm genuinely curious and I know nothing about this before Deji actually talked about it.
No one did.
How did this thing came into existence?
To promote Crystal.
Strictly made as promotional for Pokemon Crystal. So, of course, for the Pokemon Crystal game, which you know as Suicune,
we're not doing this again!
You have Raikou as the star, because that makes sense.
I guess it's because they thought, well, Suicune and Entei were in the previous two OVAs, so Raikou is missing, let's just use him, why not?
Okay, so it's fun. Back a couple months ago, I was telling Pedro, I was like, you feel as if it would have made more sense for Pokemon Free to use Suicune. And then he said, I really wish that we had a proper Gen 2 anime. And then I laughed cynically. I was like, well,
here's the thing.
He doesn't know.
Here's the thing you forgot. I said a proper Gen 2 anime. I don't consider this a proper Gen 2 anime.
We got something similar. Because we got these recent times thanks to the Pokemon Generations initiative.
This is your take your feelings and go.
I'm gonna admit, Ash may not have been the best protagonist, but I didn't think there was some uber need to replace him.
I'm also in the opinion. I was also in the opinion that he's not the problem, like many people said. And this thing proved it. And because for years people kept saying this is so much better than the main anime. I'm like, what the hell are you people on?
No. Look. For reference sake, this sort of thing was not done again for years until we eventually got the
Generations initiative.
Generations initiative, and for good reason, because this one sucks. I mean, it's probably even worse than Pokemon Forever. That said, if you're expecting a big long rant from us, I'm sorry to disappoint. There is not much to say about this movie.
Okay. God.
Shall we get to the synopsis of this?
Wait, but before we get into it, let's just explain this. Yes, this was made to promote Pokemon Crystal in 2001. America didn't get this until 2006.
Wow.
Oh yeah, way to get in on that Pokemon Crystal hype, guys!
Because 4Kids wanted to make all the Pokemon episodes that didn't feature Ash and dubbed them as their own series called Pokémon Chronicles.
Honestly,
and the Legend of Thunder was the main selling point because it was 3 brand new characters.
That said, didn't this anime only last for 3 episodes?
It's a shame.
Anyway?
Chronicles it had 12 episodes or so. I'm not No, I can look right now since I'm on Bulbapedia. But this 4Kids turned this OVA, which is 1 hour long, into 3 episodes.
I guess it technically could have worked if we ever got a Pokemon Shine Crystal on the DS, along with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, maybe. But no.
Oh. So what you're telling me is that there's technically more episodes involving all these characters.
No. These 3 particularly, no.
I think
Except
only,
for one.
Yeah, only one of them appears another time, and even then, they're not even referred by the proper name that we had here.
Yeah, because 4Kids do
we should.
keep track of their
we
own
could
crap.
also.
Chronicles has 22 episodes.
Oh yeah, one other thing.
And what about the other Team Rocket members? Are they recurring forces? In
the professor that appears at the beginning of his OVA appears somewhere else. I read this on
the
TV
Red
Tropes,
Gyarados arc.
Okay. So, just honest question. How much foundation did this series actually have? If I'm guessing this OVA was like the glorified pilot of it. So no recurring characters. What was even the point, really?
There were, again, to promote Crystal. And some people were like, I wish I knew information about this, the behind the scenes, but there's literally nothing.
We do know at the very least this.
I get the feeling most people may have probably been embarrassed by this thing, as Pedro would theorize.
Okay, I would not. Well, the mostly the 4Kids stuff, as you can tell by their performances, but we do know that this is kind of a reverse situation of Mewtwo Returns. This actually started out as just an hour-long OVA, but 4Kids, in their infinite wisdom, decided to split this into 3 episodes.
Honestly, it helps the pacing immensely better and helps mask the fact that the OVA is repetitive as all hell.
Yeah, because when you watch this, because remember, that's the TV release, by the way. When Pokemon Chronicles was actually re-released in DVD in the US, they released the proper full OVA format instead of cutting it into episodes. As a result,
and it's boring.
You get to see that repetitive thing where they're constantly repeating the same action sequence over and over. But anyway, synopsis.
All right, so for context, me, Pedro, and Shiroi watched this last week. It drove Pedro to drink.
We watched the English dub first because the subs are for the English copy that are around are terrible.
And then I came in, and then we watched the version with subs. Then after that, we watched the English dub again. That's right, Teji and Pedro literally watched that movie 3 times in a row.
Actually, Jovo, we have something in the convention. We saw this a 4th time right before you came in the call.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
I was about to mention, I saw both versions today, and halfway through the dubbed version, I was tempted to just leave it there because I thought I saw everything I needed.
That said, I'm probably going to get crucified for this, but English dub is way better than the Japanese dub.
I
Let's just start with the synopsis, please.
Yeah, anyway, here, Joe, here's the synopsis. So go ahead and read it. I posted to you privately.
The synopsis is that Team Rocket wants to capture Raikou. Raikou falls for the bait. The heroes stop Team Rocket. Team Rocket retreats. Repeat this 2 more times. And Hun goes through gender therapy swapping.
Because that's nice.
But, no. Oh, by the way, you think I'm kidding with how short that is? No. That is literally all there is to it.
Yeah.
But alright, Gemma. Since we're done, it's time for the Tracy Sketchum Award. That's No.
I didn't get to talk about Dan Green's British accent.
Yeah.
Can I talk about...
Let's get a proper...
Okay. Seriously speaking, let's do this properly. So, yeah, there's an English dub and a Japanese version. The Japanese version
No,
is
go ahead. Wait, go ahead, Suyo.
No, just for mentioning, because, before what the comparison needs to be done. For reference, there is no officially subbed the Japanese version, so we did rely on a fan sub, which, as me, Shir, and Jova, noticed on our own, is not the best thing in the world. Not just for how it's composed, but it seems that it's not the most perfect translation that it provides. So keep that in mind.
Honestly, I do wonder if that's the translation's fault or just the fact that the Japanese version does not explain stuff well.
Yeah, okay, let's well, first start with the synopsis, Jova. I won't save anything afterward.
Well, again, it ties into the thing essentially here. There's a Japanese version, which is boring as all hell, and there's an English version which has voices that can range from thematic to annoying, depending on how you feel about it. Maybe it's because I watched the Japanese version first, but the English dub felt like such a godsend in comparison, because it cuts down on a lot of the stupid filler and explains stuff better.
And instead replaces with very dumb jokes and references.
I'd argue that the Japanese version also had dumb jokes as well, just told more dully. Look, Tio, both versions are bad.
That doesn't mean that the Japanese version is deprived of what you just said.
But go on. Let's just start off with the Pokemon, with the intro where it shows the free Pokemon protagonist getting a Pokemon from Professor Elm. You know, Jimmy / Kenta gets Cyndaquil, Marina gets Totodile, and Junichi Masuda gets Chikorita.
So yeah, in the English version, I'll just call him Gold for convenience.
We're calling him
this is the thing that I was gonna do the same thing. It literally
and I'm going to execute you.
Not just that, side note, for some reason the English version wants to call these characters Jimmy, and every time they mention it on screen I get reminded of X-Men Origins Wolverine and Sabretooth yelling, Jimmy!
Look, I'm sorry, I can't call him Gold. I
can. Anyway, so Gold, surprisingly, is played by Goku. Yeah, I'll admit. Yeah. I'll admit, the first time I watched this, I thought, wait, that voice sounds familiar. And then little by little, I realized, holy cow, that's freaking
This is
Goku.
probably why it seemed a bit odd to me. Not in a sense of delivery, but more the fact that it seemed an older voice for the character.
John Schimmel should not be voicing kids, unless he voices Gonard for a Kappa Mikey reunion.
I'll just nod to that. But honestly, I got a kick out of hearing John Schimmel's voice come out of Gold. As for Marina, well, she's voiced by someone, and
Can I please talk about? Yes. Can I please? Okay. Itmoli is actually one of my more.
No. Plater is going somewhere with this, so please continue.
No, we know. Go on.
Yeah, basically it opens up with a Pokemon battle between Gold's Typhlosion and a Hitmonlee.
Which I actually like about the
Hitmonlee is actually one of my. I guess favorite is too strong a word, but it's definitely one of my most liked Pokemon in Gen 1. And I always thought that these portrayals in the anime were fine, actually perfectly fine. It's in the P1 championship, he does have that really cool voice that they gave him in the original. I wish I had a clip to show everybody, but I don't. And yeah, that's fine. But then here's how Itmoli sounds in this version. I'll try my best to recreate it because I'm pretty confident it's a woman voicing him. Itmoli! I'm not kidding. He basically sounds like this.
Allow me.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
There it is.
That's just why. It's so distracting and it sounds so stupid.
If I had to guess a thought process, is because, again, for the English naming, it only is supposed to be based on Bruce Lee, so we wanted to go for his iconic screaming.
Possibly. Again, and mind you, maybe it's just me going crazy. While it's not as notable in the Japanese version, he sounds higher in that too, although it's not as noticeable. That said, without a doubt, the English version is the one that's way more obvious with it. So, but yeah, Pokemon battle, he wins, of course.
One thing that I had to note, in the Japanese version, there's also, foreshadowing for later, with Gold mentioning about Typhlosion not having to back down from a fight, but in the English version, he just said, I trained a lot.
It's built
Japanese version.
Honestly, even in the Japanese version, I didn't see that as foreshadowing.
Yes, it is, Jova, because it's all about, the whole not backing down, which will be incorporated by both the Typhlosion itself and Raikou.
Well, okay, with Raikou that makes sense, but he wasn't talking about Raikou. He was talking about
which Typhlosion does when Steelix uses Sandstorm.
Remind me, are we talking about the scene where Jimmy, stupid name, where Jimmy and Marina, find themselves on the thing?
That's for later.
Oh, okay, tell me when we get there, because I have something to talk about that.
I'm just gonna be honest. As foreshadowing, I find it flimsy, and I'm not even sure that's what they were going for.
Honestly, not an excuse to actually remove it or change it.
Yep.
Well, you know what? If you see it as that, that's fine. But I just really...
That's the thing with 4Kids that I keep noticing, and this in this year is more special. A lot of lines that could have been just perfectly be fine, they're outright replaced for the sake of either making a joke. I almost if they wanted to do a gag dub in order to, I guess, try to spice up the entertainment, or they're outright changed for no real reason. Like, it's not even we're saying the same thing a different way. No, we're saying different things altogether.
Like, here's the thing, the whole foreshadowing thing, I don't see that as foreshadowing. That's just stating a character trait. Like,
I have no idea
he doesn't back down from a fight. Regardless. Moving on. So, anyway, Gold takes Typhlosion to the Pokemon Center, and, cute little reference to the games. With
I was genuinely shocked for once they remember how Pokemon Center actually fucking works.
I think they do that in the Japanese version of the anime, but I
feel like it was in both versions. I didn't get as good a listen, but I feel like it was in both versions.
Side note that I'm just gonna say now, but it applies for the entire thing, so I'm not gonna bring it up again. The music that they chose for the dub is weird. I know that it's probably with royalties and everything, but it's so unfitting for the situation. Sometimes it's too over the top, sometimes it's not in the situation. It was clear that it was not composed for the actual product.
They keep
like I said,
I get you. I was just adding on to that. Yes, Shirai?
Okay.
They keep reusing the first movie's soundtrack.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing soundtrack, but...
Hello, please.
Really? Did we need to?
Anyway, Pokemon Center.
Anyway, Pokemon Center, where we meet up with Marina, who...
Marina! Okay. Jesus Christ!
Stop doing this, Jova!
If you keep doing this, I'm summarizing.
Anyway... A character who should have different...
comes down. Yeah, basically, she has the hots for Gold.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing.
She has the hots for Lancer, actually.
She has the hots for a lot
that's
of
the thing.
dudes.
People with capes, according to the anime.
That's the thing.
That's the thing, Tio. She has the hots for Gold, Lance, and also Dan Green. I know he has a name,
that's for later.
Dan Green.
And not just that, but that scene is probably the only one that stands out to me from both versions, because in the Japanese version, she's just basically is kind of teasing him and just being playful. But in the English version, she's flat out thirsty for dick. Like seriously. She's literally flaunting her stuff to him and everything, and sending him the landing lights. Freaking landing lights. She might as well tell, here, jump me. Like,
even Typhlosion is on the stick because we get this weird scene where Typhlosion just stares at him and kind of laughs.
It reminds me of how in the second movie 4Kids changed the dialogue to throw a bone to Ash and Misty shippers. Somebody has 4Kids that are really hard on for shipping characters.
Well,
there's
I kinda do get it, regardless.
Also,
go on.
Marina, first of all, they did change her appearance slightly in a sense of recoloring, like her hair and I think her dress. I don't know exactly the reason, they just did.
Remember, she's the female protagonist from Crystal.
No, I know, but that's what I was saying. Contrasting to that appearance, she actually has different colored hair and stuff. But she also was talking with a video call. Hilarious how times have changed. With Vincent.
Or Junichi. Yeah, Junichi in the.
This character is annoying no matter.
He's named after Junichi from the Pokemon
It is probably named after Junichi Masuda, which would be hilarious in retrospect.
This character is incredibly annoying no matter what version is watching because this voice assigned, they did not change anything about him. His only character trait is that he has the hots for Marina and wants to...
Yeah, you know what his character trait is? He's a simp.
Yeah.
And the shade.
He's the Brock of the trio.
Listen,
No.
I know that, but you're a simp.
Look.
You're a simp.
Look. He makes Brock look like an anti-simp by comparison with how much he's.
But yeah, that is
Nah,
true.
sorry.
There's even a fact that at one point he wants to talk with Gold privately on the call, and you think, oh, it's not gonna be like an important plot moment, and everything. But no, he's just saying, oh, dude, I know that you also have a crush on Marina, but I wanna be the one who proposes to her and everything. Oh. And Gold is like, just shut up.
Okay. So
that's the thing I also want to mention. Gold, I actually kind of like Gold, at least in this first phase, even not the entire OVA, because he seems to be the straight guy for the entire thing, and it feels as if like he wants to be the only sane man, but the movie keeps dragging into madness.
Since we're talking about the characters, here's a big problem I have with this movie, this advertisement, this goddamn commercial. They seem to want us to care about the characters and their relationships when we have no idea what it was like for them in the past. And you know what's sad? We actually do get a flashback scene of them near the tail end of the goddamn flick. And it's too late because apparently from what Dead tells me, it's not like they even came back in later episodes of whatever tiny anime this was connected to, so...
Oops.
I mean, I guess this is as blatant
I'll
a commercial
get into
as
that
it can get.
when we do best and worst character, don't worry.
Regardless, though, this is a problem with our main characters. You really won't... Look, all you need to care about is Gold, really.
Yeah.
Marina's there to get kidnapped, and Vincent is there to get...
Be a creep.
And literally get sat on later.
And blue balled.
And like I said...
Or is the term GS balled?
Like I said, he literally gets sat on later on.
But,
context is for the week. But regardless, let's go over to our good old pals, Team Rocket, who are, well, it's explained in the English dub, preparing to capture Raikou.
Yeah, I don't understand why they did this change. They say to be very specific. When in the original version they did say that they want to use the device they have, being powered by crystals, to just capture an electric type, the most powerful as possible, which is fairly enough. But in the English version they want to be specific about Raikou. I don't understand why they did do that.
I can understand why. One of my complaints of the Japanese version was you're going to all this trouble specifically
for
just
electric
type Pokemon.
Keep in mind, Jova,
really,
it's Team Rocket, so it's not too far off for them to take an opportunity to just, we have this device that can help us immensely in capturing very easily a single type. They just exploit the shit out of it.
True, but I do appreciate the English dub for making it more so about Raikou because it explains their whole thing for the electric type thing.
But that's one point, because then let's talk about the one thing that, at least for me, is the more contentions. One of the characters which is gonna be the villain of the movie, which for appearance alone, which is not really great, for kids decided to change their gender in the Japanese version. Han is clearly male, and it's not even like saying, like say Kuja, they give this, ambiguous type of look. No, it's even way better to Shuki Morikawa, for fuck's sake.
So according to Meow's voice actress, it's because there weren't any pronouns, so that's why they just assumed.
That's still kinda.
Oh yeah. Because did you hear the voice? Did you not hear the voice?
Okay.
Again,
I imagine they weren't actually shown any of this, from the Japanese one.
I'm blaming for kids on this one, not the voice actors.
No, I'm not saying that, but I mean, I'm not sure they would have actually heard the voices, so they were just going off of what little they had.
Also, Attila and Han are voiced by April O'Neil and Casey Jones from the TMNT 4-Kid show.
Which is pretty neat, but okay. To back Shrey up and to give 4-Kids some credit, we have no idea how good communication was in regards to how this film was adapted or dubbed. Question.
4-Kids didn't care!
Question, did the rest of the anime also get dubbed, or was it literally just the first... Well, was it just the OVA that got dubbed?
What do you mean?
You said that there's a whole Pokemon Chronicles anime.
No, okay. Pokemon Chronicles specifically is something for kids made up on their own, because these were all special Pokemon episodes that didn't have Ash, and they didn't want to dub it at the time. They're just like, oh look, we have all these extra episodes. Let's try to milk Pokemon for what it's worth.
It's a bit similar to how they attach the Pikachu shorts to the movies, even when Japan stopped doing it.
So what you're telling me is that any of the Pokemon Chronicles stuff is just based off of other OVAs originally.
They're not OVAs, they're just special episodes.
Mm-hmm. The point anyway is that, again, the whatever they want to be generic or just capture Raikou, Team Rocket has this new device which the Rangers, the DS game about the shadows, I forgot its title, seems to be at least inspired by, which is this machine powered by Crystal, which absorbs electricity and then redirects it with even more powerful than ever towards who launched it, because...
So anyway, yeah, they basically take it out and it attracts Pokemon. Oh, but also while this is going on, Marina and Gold got into an argument because Gold doesn't see Marina as a cute girl that he would totally want to date and whatnot. So they decided to have a Pokemon battle of it. Okay, I'll just say this. Marina totally would have been a Pokemon coordinator if the Pokemon coordinator thing was established before, because she talks about being a Pokemon trainer idol, which...
Yeah, that's also the thing. She has this whole
shtick
shtick about wanting to be an idol in either version. They just changed terminology, and it's so fucking distracting.
Do you think they retconned? I feel like they retconned her in Diamond and Pearl as like she's a top coordinator now.
But
wait, did they actually change her into a coordinator?
Yeah, because she makes a cameo
battler
in a magazine that Dawn has that's about Pokemon coordinators.
I mean, again, like I said, it seemed like she wanted to be essentially a Pokemon coordinator, and hey, looks like she accomplished her dream. But for now,
because she's the only character in this entire series that actually
she also incorporated this shtick into battle by using her first Pokemon, and saying the whole, oh, look at that, it's Marina, I present you Marina, coming from whatever, the whole thing.
And Gold basically goes all Goku on the situation, complaining about her dancing instead of
I like Gold because it's basically my surrogate.
Again, honestly, I'm kind of tempted to have seen Gold become a recurring character fully because he's literally the Goku of Pokemon. Like, he's all about the fighting and the training, doesn't care about all the other stuff.
That's XY Ash.
But
XY Ash at least had time for romance. But regardless, they have a Pokemon battle. Gold wins the first round, so then he's going to send Typhlosion against
Rocco now, and I will actually give points to the dub for actually lampshading the fact that Marina's type advantage, but Gold.
They do also,
but Gold in this case just mentions again the fact that the Typhlosion is not used to back down, and he literally passes through the water gun.
Okay.
To be fair, they do reference the leveling factor about how if a Pokemon is strong enough, sometimes even type advantages won't matter. That is a thing in-game as well, which is explained better in the English dub than it is in the Japanese dub.
It's like you can argue that Typhlosion is like at level 50 and Croconaw is at like level 22 or something along those lines. If that would be the case, then that would work fine enough.
Levels don't exist in the anime.
You know what? To be fair, I will give them credit.
Well,
that's actually kind of clever
they say
that they do reference
they
that.
do. Well, actually, Deji, there have been times in the anime where they have said,
yeah, very, very early.
But sorry, if it was mentioned even once, Deji, that means it's an actual concept. Just because they don't mention it, that doesn't mean it's not a concept anymore.
It's one of those early adaptations to getting things on the ground. It's like, yeah.
The point, however, is that the fight cannot be finished because of thunder strikes in the background, and
it's always thunder.
It makes the characters worried. Also, small thing to mention because it's gonna be relevant in a second. Marina also has a Misdreavus, which normally stays in a Pokeball, but a lot of time is gonna stay just on her shoulder.
And she calls it Missy or something like Misty
for some reason.
Speaking of which, speaking of which, of course a Pokemon device that was meant to attract only electric types attracts a fire type, a ghost
type,
psychic type,
and a water type.
A water type. So I have no idea. It's pretty much just the movie's way of going, yeah, we need to move the plot along, so let's have a Pokemon pull a Pokemon 2000 and have some feeling or whatnot.
That's exactly what it was. And in case you're wondering what she names her mischievous, it's Little Miss.
Sure, I mentioned.
Yeah. Anyway, so our heroes come across Team Rocket, and then here's Raikou. Okay, so...
Where's the heart to tell?
Yeah,
okay,
Jova, I want you to apologize to Suicune right now.
Not just that, I want to mention this because it's hilarious.
I'm just gonna say
the TV Troll Saddle Pages actually claims that Raikou is basically the most awesome thing in the entire movie, but he spends most of the movies getting dropped big time, and he even commits a lot of dumb moves.
And
if he's the coolest thing in this movie, that's only because everything else
that's a big death knell for a Pokemon movie or OVA, in particular, because remember one of the things that even Pokemon Power of One did well up until this point was at the very least always showing off the cover legendary and showing him how cool and badass he is, because it's all about.
And that's the thing. In this movie, they literally admit that, it's not like he's even the sole Raikou or something. It's like, no, there are plenty of these dog Pokemon going about, so he's a legendary, but in the sense that he's a common
also, the
legendary.
dub makes a point of saying that Raikou cannot be captured normally, and this should justify why Team Rocket is doing whatever they're doing. It's weird.
I mean, I guess
it's probably used as an excuse to mention why Gold and the others are not trying to use Pokeballs against it.
Yeah, you know what? I do feel like 4Ks were trying to salvage why some stuff just plumb doesn't make sense, because in the Japanese version, there's no reason why nobody uses a Pokeball. Just use a Pokeball. Hell, we've seen in Pokemon Journeys, you can catch a legendary and boop, just let it go if you don't want to,
yeah, and everybody hated that character. The one character that uses common sense is the one everyone hates.
Just like Bastio Mizawa. Anyway,
it comes across as the writers need to fill in an hour of screen time, so they have to have Raikou act stupid and get.
It even gets transplanted into the animation, because a lot of times we get this close-up of Raikou's face where just like.
It's a clear case of bad script writing. Have your character act stupid to force the plot that you want.
Yeah, let's also mention this.
Speaking of which, a bit of a thing: the voice acting for Raikou in the English version, he actually does sound like something of a majestic creature.
I thought they did not change anything, and it's the same voice clips.
It sounds different, because in the Japanese version, it clearly just sounds like a guy having a guttural growl. It doesn't sound as majestic. But you know what? Whatever. Raikou is here, and he promptly gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, it starts fine, at least as I noticed, because he does start, in a smart way by chewing away the cables of the mech that Attila is using while in the dub, while spewing weird southern stereotypes in the dub for some reason. But then Raikou decides to start spamming his electricity attacks, even when he sees that they clearly do not work. And he just keeps going to the point where he gets exhausted. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Hit it harder. Dragon Ball logic.
I
figure it out. We just need to hit it really, really hard. And that's a problem recurring. The device that Team Rocket uses could easily probably be smashed by a physical attack, but literally no one in the movie, Raikou nor the other Pokemons, ever even consider doing that.
Yeah, they do.
No, they
not
don't.
Really. No,
at the end.
No, they at the end we actually smashed the barrier, not even the physical thing.
Yeah. Again, it was all Raikou who does it in the very end.
And even then it uses another range thunder attack, just because it doesn't absorb it anymore. But
hey, Raikou, why don't you use some of your claw swipe attacks, which I know you have.
Like the one that he used to chew away the cable, whatever.
Or hell, use quick attack or something. I don't know, but anyway, So, yeah, it seems like Raikou's caught. Don't worry, though. Our heroes come to the rescue and foil Attila and Hun's plans.
Side note that I want to mention, I really enjoy, Attila's battle strategy because he uses a Steelix, and apparently he's very
No, the Steelix is Hun's.
Han, that's what I mentioned. Attila is the one with the Skermori. But
she uses the Steelix.
But I really enjoy it because Han, actually cares about type advantage, and throughout the entire fight, both against Raikou, well, in the other electric types, and when Gold and Marina intervene, actually takes advantage of that. So at the very least, there is something that I've never seen being used this consistently in a Pokemon battle, and I thank fuck.
So I'll admit, part of why I prefer Hun as a woman is only because the voice acting sounds more emotional in the dub, whereas in the Japanese dub, he just has this monotone, robotic...
That's the point!
Java, that's Toshuki Morikawa, that's literally his shtick.
I get it, but it
That's
was
the
just
point.
adding
A
to the
character is
boredom.
meant to be stoic.
It's
okay to have that type
It's not even that.
Okay.
It's not even
Okay,
that.
I know it's okay to have a character like
Here's
that.
the thing.
Han is supposed to be kind of like Fujin in Final Fantasy VIII, in a sense of cold, calculative, and regardless of gender, Pedro. The brain of the operation. While Attila is kind of like the more brutish muscle. However, the dub decides to make Attila dumb for some reason, but again, that's a story for another time.
But I mean,
I feel like the dub did it better in the sense that Hun, while the more calm one, isn't just boring to listen to. Like, that's the thing about the Japanese dub. It feels like it lacks personality. But you want to say something?
Here's the thing.
Pedro?
Yes, you can have story. There's plenty of good story characters. That's not the issue. The problem with Han, or whoever the hell she's called in the, or he, or
I don't care. I just
She's still called Han in
this
either
character has little to no personality outside of the fact that he or she or whatever is
Hey, did you know that they're supposed to be based off Kitsune and Tanuki?
Oh, that I did not know.
I don't see.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I don't see it either, but that's what Bulbapedia tells me.
Well, whatever. The point is, the problem with these two rocket grunts is that they're given little to no personality or anything, or even to make them compelling villains. Not really. They're just there because they want Raikou, because power and, I guess, money or whatever. Like
yeah, Team Rocket is always after the strong.
Well, yeah, but even Giovanni, like, is much far more compelling, despite just wanting power, because he's so suave and cool about it. Not to mention his overall characterization is overall much better. Whereas these guys are just here. These guys are just here to get Raikou, and that's it. And that's literally the only thing that drives them. And as a result, they're just there to serve as something for the heroes to fight, basically.
I'm gonna take. Sorry, Angela. Sorry.
And this Pedro did a good job summing up why I prefer the English dub. At the very least, it feels like they're trying to give them personality. It's not necessarily good personalities, and trust me, some are.
Yeah, they gave the accent to the blonde one and shit.
Again, Attila has this whole shtick about being stubborn, and it's not just the accent, he constantly refers, this reminds me when in my childhood when I was in the ranch, and I'm like, just shut the fuck up.
I will agree with Jova.
I wonder, did he have a Kasai accent in the original?
No, because it was more of, how can I describe it? It's the accent, it's the same kind of, it's the same voice actor with the same facial jaw that voices the character in Project Cross Zone, the guy with the cowboy and the giant gun from Super Robot Wars,
Well, maybe in that case.
No, what I mean is that the more gambler-like type, which is not Kansai, but still a bit foreign in that sense.
Well, okay, because usually whenever someone has one of the more out there accents in Japanese, they normally convert it to something like a southern accent, as we saw with Ace Attorney. So Maybe that's why they gave him
That also was a constant thing. That also was a constant with 4Kids in general, regardless of what they adapted.
But moving on, we see Team Rocket escapes. Raikou's injured. They drag it to the Pokemon Center.
Actually, no. Gold has this moment where he wants to actually demonstrate to Raikou that he needs to be trusted, and Raikou repeatedly tries to fire electricity against him. But
not
again,
just try. Raikou literally hit him point blank, knocks him down. He gets up just fine, like it's nothing.
It didn't hurt.
Yeah, it shows bruises on him.
I mean, he's built different.
Like, seriously though, like, again, great way to show off the power of our legendary. Can't even keep down a 10 or 12-year-old.
It's not
I
even
think
that.
he's 11 because that intro shows that a year has passed.
It's pretty clear that it was like a warning shot more than anything.
Yes.
Raikou's a dick in this, but
it's actually a feral beast, Jova, through and through. The movie makes a point, no matter which version.
Well,
again, okay. Here's the problem. Raikou's a legendary. Normally, what these movies try to do is show off that the legendaries are smarter, more sentient than
not to mention,
Pokemon.
they've shown that Suicune... Okay, the Entei in 3 was technically not the real Entei, so I'll skip that. They've shown us that Suicune clearly understands what humans say, so there's no reason for Raikou not to understand what the humans say.
Raikou just doesn't trust humans.
Not only that, but they constantly are helping him, and how does he thank them later on? Oh, he blows up their building. Like, yeah, I get that it was the call or something, but Jesus, he shows no sign of gratitude whatsoever. And yeah, that's pretty much the scene here. They take him to the Pokemon Center where he heals up, he's all bitter about it.
We're introduced to Eugene from Pokemon Crystal, but here the 4Kids calls him Eugene, even though they got it right the first time.
And he's voiced by Dan Green, clearly going through a very campy phase.
Dan Green is, without a doubt, the leading reason I will always think the English version of the Japanese version. Like, in the Japanese version, he just has some typical voice, whatever. Here, it's mother flippin' Dan Green putting on a majestic-sounding voice.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
It is.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be British or not. I can't tell.
From what I heard, it sounds more...
It just wants to be over the top and campy.
That's the thing, too. It is distracting.
There is an accent. It sounds like he's going for a mid-Atlantic accent. Not quite British, but something.
I love it.
You know what the frustrating part is? Dan Green didn't even voice him in the original anime. It was
why this lack of consistency?
It was Ed Paul or Ted Lewis, as he's known as.
I love it though. Like Dan Green.
It's just one of those why.
Dan Green is having fun.
Yeah, it was Tracy Sketchup who voiced him.
Whatever.
Anyway,
I love it though, like because Dan Green is clearly having fun, and it helps inject some personality into the whole affair because and it just makes the thing go in overall a bit more memorable because it's it's campy and distracting, but at the same time, what it's distracting me from is not exactly great. So I kind of take it as a blessing personally.
And hey, he's one of the better characters, I guess, and by that I mean a character who rations to some common sense. But anyway, Team Rocket are at it again, which then pretty much draws Raikou, who blows up the building. Yep. Great gratitude you're showing for us helping you, jackass. And so, you think Raikou's got a different plan, right? Nope, he does the same thing over.
Okay.
And he promptly
So
gets
the
captured.
solution to this problem is to attempt the exact same thing that failed just now. Brilliant, Raikou. Brilliant.
Mind you, what's different is that at some point during the fight, he falls on top of Marina. I can't see that leading to anything.
Any hijinks.
Well, although seriously, how did Marina survive a giant legendary Pokemon falling on top of her?
Also, a small note. This first fight is the first occasion upon 3, I think, where Eugene wants to actually fight for himself using his Alakazam, but gets interrupted by something and doesn't actually release it. Poor bastard.
Okay. So, yeah, part of the reason that I can see the English dub having separated this into 3 episodes is because, I kid you not, 3 times will we see Team Rocket activate that device. 3 times will we see Raikou captured by that device. 3 times will we see a battle with Team Rocket that will make you feel like you're going through deja vu, you've been to this place before. 3 times with little to no variation each time. Like, holy hell. Like, at least if these were separated by episodes, you could at least have the illusion. The illusion. But nope. This happens. Like, I could practically just repeat this more or less for the last phase and we'd be able to get through it, but whatever. Okay, so Team Rocket captured Raikou, but oopsie, turns out Marina was also on the plane as well. But it's alright.
The fight is also where... This is also the fight where Vincent arrives, complete with a dramatic pose entrance with a cape. This is important because after the fight is over, he starts whining like a fucking moron about Marina. But then Gold has the actual, smart move to actually remember a thing that was mentioned before in the movie about the Pokegears, as in the exchange of the numbers. Since Vincent as the one of Marina, we can contact.
Oh god, we already got to that point, huh? Okay, wow.
Yep.
Like I said, there's not much to talk about.
However, in the meantime, because of dumb luck, literally, because Raikou just did uncover part of a panel on the floor and Marina just fiddles with cables, turns out that this airship of the Rocket duo is as easily an override command for the, behind anger, meaning that Raikou gets to actually go away after giving another derpy expression, and Marina gets to stay behind.
Okay,
cool.
Now one could argue, why doesn't she get on his back? I guess maybe she thought that the fall could break her back or something, even though we have seen these dog Pokemon be able to carry people from high distances and whatnot.
To be fair, we only see that with Ash's perspective, and these characters haven't met.
I also find a bit hilarious that, again, Raikou is supposed to be part of a dog legendary trio, but he looks more like a tiger.
A saber-tooth.
A saber-tooth tiger.
Mm-hmm.
But,
anyway.
Basically, Raikou escapes, so surely he'll show great gratitude for what she did, and maybe he does, but I wouldn't be able to tell because Raikou is not nearly as expressive as he could be.
He has an expression, Joe. He's derpy.
And like I said, and don't anybody try and use the fact that this is, a TV movie budget. No. Mewtwo Returns was a TV movie, and it is immensely better animated, better handled, better everything than this. The only thing this does maybe better is giving us more Pokemon battles.
Also the music.
No. Well, okay.
In the Japanese version.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I haven't seen
specific.
All right, just to make sure I realize where we are. Which scene are we at in the synopsis right now?
We're basically right before
after Raikou has escaped, the hero
Marina, who's then accosted by a
Yeah, that's
yeah, not gonna lie, in the Japanese version, that scene was creepy as all heck.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, they imply that he's gonna beat the crap out of her, even though he doesn't. So I actually do prefer what they do in the English version for that particular scene, where they actually do give them the closest thing to a backstory I've seen in this fucking thing, which is him saying, "Oh, your friend shouldn't have made fun of Caterpie. I'm a big Caterpie fanboy." It's kind of a funny remark. And even if you don't like it, it gives him more character, and that's what I want. Give these characters more, character. Jesus.
This is going to be the most wrong opinion, but I do appreciate whenever 4Kids tells a pun and it's about it's Pokemon related.
Yeah,
like, hey,
no, sorry.
Hey, look where the Gengar is right now. It's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Teo,
like I said,
let me quote Batman Returns for this, that frankly I cringe.
I don't know, Teo, you don't mind that.
Doctor, turn on my cringe inhibitors.
I mean, you can watch this all the time, Teo. You don't seem to mind it there.
Because he does it also in the Japanese dub.
Yeah, Teo would hate
actually the Japanese
Sun and Moon because they do that all the time.
Yeah, and the Japanese
Professor
and the Japanese version of Yokai Watch does puns all the time as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This OVA did not do that. 4Kids added these just for the sake because they thought they were funny.
Honestly, Teo, I don't think just because the Japanese dub does it should automatically give it a pass, honestly. Like, Maybe
No,
to be
what
like,
I
they're
mean is
actually
for this
good
version,
people.
Jova, the fact that, again, this was not a thing in the original. Actual dialogue gets replaced with funny jokes because they believe that he was too dull, when he actually could have helped with the actual, story and characterization.
Maybe in a better product I would care more, but in the original it's dull stuff. A lot of it which doesn't even really help the plot along. Like, normally I critique this stuff in 4Kids, but as far as I see, it's them trying to make more entertaining stuff out of just boring, needless crap which goes nowhere. Doesn't explain much.
Yeah, this is not Ghost Story, sorry.
Okay,
no,
you know what the thing about ghost
no.
stories? No. Save it for later.
No.
Bye.
Moving on.
Not comparing this to Ghost Stories. Regardless. So, anyway, yeah. Marina is kidnapped. And,
They
that's
get on a
pretty much-
car from UC.
Yeah, that's one
I'm
other
trying
thing
to
that it
think
wasn't.
if she really gets to do anything else in the Soviet.
No, wait. She does one thing. One cool thing that automatically makes her smarter than 90% of the characters throughout this franchise. When Han is choking the Mischievous, even though she's a ghost type, so she probably would, she uses her Pokeball and returns it. It's like, it's like, man, anytime Team Rocket tries to kidnap a Pokemon, it would have been a lot.
I should have tried that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, to be fair, going off of the game, a Pokemon trainer would probably just block the Pokeball. Don't be a thief. But anyway,
Not like that.
Anyway, but yeah, so third time's the charm.
Yeah, pretty much.
But wait.
Also, another thing that I thought it was
decides to use
interesting, the fact that Eugene has a car and he drives. I wasn't
You know what?
expecting that.
And to give Eugene credit, he thinks to use the Pokegear to track him down as well. So, yeah, you know what? Points to Eugene. He gets stuff done in this movie. Like, again, pretty much he and Gold are carrying most of it. So anyway, they track Team Rocket down because they need to try and capture Raikou again.
Only this time it's personal.
This time Marina is tied up, handkerchiefed and everything.
Yeah, it's like a 30s cartoon.
We just need our train tracks.
Okay. This is one of those cases where I will have to say that, to be fair, this is not like a dumbass in distress case where they didn't establish her at the beginning as a strong character that can handle herself. They and then suddenly have her not be able to handle herself for the sake of stupidity. Maybe she's just clumsy naturally. And this
TV tropes list her as a action girl. Marina may be a ditz, but she's quite competent as a trainer.
I don't see it. She's never really done anything to really showcase that.
Yes, Joe.
Okay, look, I think the thing with Dumbass in Distress tends to get taken a bit out of context in the sense, like, well, it suddenly pretends that just because a character is shown as capable, that means they can't get kidnapped. No, there are some cases where even if the character were capable, they can still get kidnapped and need the help of others here and there. Like, I do feel like people take that sense a little too literally in thinking that, just because this character was shown as capable, it's automatically bad writing if they get captured.
Ash,
no.
you won a Pokemon League. How do you lose to a gym leader? That means you suck. Don't you know, just because you win a championship doesn't mean that you can never lose at all, ever.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the plot here. Raikou is back. He gets captured again. The dumbass falls for it.
Actually,
again.
this time he's more savvy. He goes directly for the robot first, and also somehow manages to use the thunder to override.
Yeah, that's right.
But turns out this is kind of what the Team Rocket was wanting all the time, because
apparently destroying the crystal makes it more
the crystal
powerful.
is still intact. The command, the program command is destroyed, which turns the machine into basically a black hole, which for some reason the dub doesn't refer to that way, even though it's clearly a black hole, which sucks in Raikou in a very kind of gruesome way, and it starts sucking away the life energy. So the trainers have to desperately find a plan to actually get free of him, but they play this super dramatic moment where Eugene mentions about the only way to do it is to actually use a physical attack on the force field, not even on the actual structure, which should be able to free Raikou, but they will have to actually get away in time before the ensuing explosion. And I'm like, that seems needlessly overcomplicated.
Basically, they all combine their attacks on it. Boom, boom, bang. Raikou gets freed, and they manage to destroy it.
Team Rocket doesn't
Team
get
Rocket flies
blasted.
off.
We just go away quietly.
Because they swear they'll be back, and...
We never see them.
Oh, no.
We never see them again, apparently.
These two agents, we don't see them again. There was a professor at the beginning, which again, which we actually be seeing in another product of these Chronicles, I think. So there is that.
Not Chronicles,
What?
the Lake of Rage 2-parter.
Okay then.
I'll just say this, what a lame cliffhanger for characters that never came back. Like,
It's a shame. I kind of wish to see more of them to actually be, used more, so they could actually, be
more utilized.
More utilized in general, so that more people could actually like them instead of again repurposing Jesse and James for the nth time.
Honestly,
they got someone else.
I know Bunch and Cassidy exist. Just you know what I mean.
We need more Team Rocket members just so we can diversify it.
I forgot that just since I haven't watched it on the anime, did they actually try to adapt, and I mean not in Origin, but in main anime, the actual lieutenants from Gold and Silver?
Who?
The one that showed up in Gold and Silver.
No.
Okay.
The admins he's talking about, but regardless, I agree with you. Like, Attila and Hun do seem like they have potential to be recurring characters, but for whatever reason, they just did not.
Anyway,
they make a small cameo in Pokemon Ranger.
Oh, the one of Kyogre?
Kyogre and Manaphy, yeah.
Huh.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
That's the one with that weird pirate guy, I
Yes.
think.
But that's kinda it for the movie. We basically...
Oh, wait, hold on. Then, the score from Mewtwo Strikes Back plays. As
In the
Raikou
dub.
looks down upon our heroes, not showing an ounce of gratitude, but just growling as he leaves to be lame elsewhere.
Fun fact...
Then, in the English dub,
Yeah, might I mention something?
our heroes share a... Oh, right, nearly forgot. Marina used Vincent as a sitting cushion because she landed on him, and he's alright.
Also, for some reason in the dub, they cut away as dialogue piece where they mentioned that Raikou felt actually sorry for being so, almost maniacal against Team Rocket, but he could not forgive them for what they did to the other electric type. This is actually Gold doing a Captain Kirk style summation, and for some reason this is completely absent in the dub. It's not like it was replaced, it's little footage but it's cut away.
Honestly, I don't blame them for removing that, because as far as I'm concerned, there was nothing to suggest that from Raikou.
They forgot the most important part that 4Kids cut out. Once the battle was over and they let the three characters go their separate ways, we see that Marina got a new Pokegear and calls Jimmy.
Oh my god, that is true. They did actually cut that out.
And
Why?
I don't know. And
Because
then Jimmy
really
blushes that he gets her number and he has feelings for her. And that's how it ends. Holy crap.
Which is interesting because 4Kids loves...
Doesn't really matter to the plot. It really didn't matter
Not
to
just
the
that.
plot.
Not just that. I'm actually surprised that they cut that out because 4Kids up until this point I've always liked their ship stuff, but for some reason this one apparently was not good enough. But anyway, I like to...
From what I see, this is similar to a case like Pokemon Forever, where 4Kids were trying to salvage this thing to be better.
I'd like to mention something. Every time they try to have some kind of sympathy scene for Raikou, it kind of gets a bit ruined for me because the way they draw his face, where he's constantly with his mouth open, it just begs for what little sympathy I could have for Raikou in the more somber scenes where Gold is looking at him all sad and stuff like that. It gets disturbing when he's just with that dumb looking face, Couldn't you have him at least close his mouth?
No.
And seriously, And seriously, Japanese version, what do you mean he feels sorry but, couldn't forgive them? What did he have to feel sorry for Team Rocket about? They were harming Pokemon left and right, and he showed no sign, no hesitation whatsoever. There was nothing suggesting that he felt sorry for them. Like, Jesus Christ. But like I said, also at the end we get a flashback scene showing the three main... I can't even call them all protagonists because Vincent barely did crap, so...
He even used just one Pokemon, his Meganium.
Yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, we see a flashback of the meeting, and we get the character stuff at the end of the movie.
No, we don't. We get it. We get it at the intro.
No. The scene showing them, having a fun time. Okay, Dej, the part where they get their Pokeballs, that's near the intro.
Oh, okay.
What I'm referring to is the bit with them hanging out as friends or whatnot.
Oh,
all the good times we're told about. Again, like I said, way to put your character development at the tail end of your one-shot OVA. It's not like we're gonna see these characters again.
Oh no, we see Vincent again, and I'll say that for when we do the worst character.
Why didn't we brought back? Whatever, go on.
Speaking of, since we're done with the summary, it's time for the Misty Award. I mean, Tracy Award. Yeah, that's who I meant.
Okay, Dej, are we just gonna eventually turn it into the Misty Award?
I feel like we probably should have just called it that.
You know what? It's not too late. You can always change it by heroes into the Misty Awards. I mean, granted, we'll probably get a lot of hate from Misty fans, but hey,
Joe, I'm here, right?
Wait,
Tia, I'm sorry that you have
childhood crush and all, Joe.
Tia, I'm sorry that your
my childhood
crush
was May. Look,
I like you, losers. I went with a winner, Jessie.
Anyway,
what about Jessie Bell?
No. But anyway, worst character, Shiro, go.
They're mostly all kind of crap. Raikou, I guess. I don't know. He doesn't really do anything.
And he's the star of this picture.
That's
it, Dej. I will not be apologizing to Suicune because unlike Suicune, Raikou at least got to save the day in the end.
Yeah, he was actually more active throughout, despite everything.
Yeah, it's worse than Pokemon Forever, but Suicune still got the worst deal of the bunch.
But there we go. Who's next?
Pedro.
Okay, it's a favorite character, you said?
Worst.
Oh, worst character.
I know, this is a hard one.
I think...
okay, wait. I'm also going to break the rules for this episode only because there's very little. You can pick, for a favorite character, you can pick the same one if you want, because I know the options are very, very narrow.
So let's say somebody else has picked a character, you can still pick that character.
This is the one exception.
Okay, so... here's the my most hated character. I guess I'm gonna have to go with you know what, I'm gonna go with Marina, because she does nothing in this thing. She's there at the beginning, she hits on Gold, then she has that battle with him, and then she kind of tries to help, but she doesn't really help much with it. It's mostly what's his name again? Vincent. It's mostly Vincent's Meganium and Jimmy's Typhlosion that do all the work, whereas Miss Drivis kind of tries.
Hey Pedro.
Yes.
Don't you love how she had a Croconaut and never used it ever again?
That doesn't help either. That doesn't help.
Also, why was it a Croconaut and not a Feraligatr?
Although Jimmy's not innocent.
Oh! Guess what, Tio? I have some good news. It does evolve into a Feraligatr off screen.
Although Jimmy's not innocent of that either, because we saw clearly at the beginning that he has 6 Pokemon, and yet he only uses 2, so he's not innocent of that kind of shit either. The point is, Marina basic, and then after she kind of fails to help with her Misdreavus, the movie basically stops even pretending to think that she has a point and literally turns her into a damsel in distress type of scenario. So
she only had one cool scene, and that's when she used Mischievous to use Perish Song.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah, to me that was actually an interesting way to incorporate that kind of move.
Yeah. Aside from that, it's not enough to save her though, because she was pretty much a waste. She could have been cool, especially considering this is the first time, I think, where they've tried to implement the female protagonist thing from the games into an anime. So the fact that they did it so poorly is so bad. So I'm gonna have to go with Marina for this one.
Alright. Jova?
I guess Vincent.
Wait, Jova, before you go on. Okay. We do see Vincent again in the Silver Conference. Look at that's the name of our podcast. But
maybe he'll get better. I don't know.
No, you know why? He fights Ash to a standstill. And you know what Pokemon he draws with Ash? With his Meganium?
What?
Take a wild guess. No, take a wild guess.
Pikachu?
Typhlosion?
Ash.
Cyndaquil.
Well...
No. Bulbasaur! That's right! This is Meganium his Bulbasaur to a standstill. It's like, you suck, Vincent. They also called him Jackson when he first appeared.
Consistency, what's that?
Yeah, they didn't care.
I guess this isn't canon with the main Pokemon universe.
It is! It takes place in the same universe.
Anyway...
Vincent is pretty much just a waste of space. He has like a cute little gag where Marina fawns over him because he has a cape. Like, not even like she mistook him for
They immediately make it a gag and say, "Oh no, it's just Vincent."
Yeah. I'll just say this: the Return of Broly movie did that better with Krillin.
Here I come to save the day.
Can't believe we're phrasing that piece of shit.
Gone.
Oh, you don't, whatever. But yeah, I mean that, and he literally lets Marina sit on him.
Rare sentences. Done.
Yeah, that's another thing about Marina, by the way, that makes me like the fact that but at this point she's basically just both like she's basically being treated as a trophy at this point, and it's just terrible.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I wouldn't say she's being treated like a trophy, seeing as how it's mainly her who's fawning. It's more so her who has the call on who she's more interested in, and she's clearly more interested in.
There is clearly a Dulcinea effect kind of going on. With the whole, boys ogling at her in some kind of...
and another thing about her, she has an annoying voice. In the English dub, God, I hate her voice in the English dub. Jesus.
I mean, I'll admit, I didn't really find her voice annoying, just more on the quirky side.
Anyway.
Maybe it's because I was so hyped for her supposedly being uber annoying, but no, I mean, okay, now her mannerisms, yeah, those could be annoying, but the voice itself, it seemed average. But anyway, though, yeah, Vincent is the weakest character in this for me. He does so little. He arguably does even less than Marina does. It's that bad. And so what? So he can simp over her. Like, Brock's a simp, but at least he doesn't let that get in the way of his actions to the point where it renders him helpless. With Vincent, nah, we gotta stop the plot for that crap. Alright, next.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only picking this because I couldn't pick because Jova picked Vincent, but I'm gonna go with a very specific thing: the dub version of Attila, because it's so unbearable.
No, you only choose one. You can't do the dub, but it's the whole package. But go ahead.
No. Well, the other major choices have been picked though because.
That's the thing, though. I mean, like he said, it's a packaged version of the character.
No, but I still want to be specific in a sense that it's more tolerable in the Japanese version. There. But otherwise it's kind of like the muscle of the operation, and that doesn't do any favors to him. That's it. Edge.
Guess that leaves you, Didge.
Jimmy.
Dead?
Jimmy!
Like,
Really?
yeah!
I mean,
He sucks!
he's not.
Like,
I mean, he arguably is the one who gets the most stuff done in this special.
He still sucks. Come on, like, man, his voice is terrible. He has no drip. He has 6 Pokemon, does jack all of them. Just jack. He's like, oh, I'll only use Typhlosion, occasionally Beedrill. It's like, man, you sure you couldn't use anything?
I guess I can see what you mean. His Japanese voice actor is so lame and boring.
It's like I don't like him as a character. I don't know why. It's something. It's always whatever.
It's simple. He's supposedly the big protagonist who we know little to nothing about.
Yeah.
But praise the conquering hero still.
The Virgin Jimmy, the Chad Alat.
I thought you were about to say the Chad Ash.
Oh no, Jova, sorry.
Hey.
I'm sorry. Ash is better than Jimmy.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You're only saying this because we only got to see Jimmy for just a limited amount of time.
Well, that's the thing, Tio. In the little bit of time we had, he is not in the slightest. And Ash uses his Pokemon way better than Jimmy.
Let me put it this way. Here's why Jimmy's worse than Ash. Because of him, we now have to break the tradition of every single one of these things having someone the protagonist tackle something.
Yeah, this movie had no tackling. It's the worst.
Exactly, ruined forever. This is when Pokemon jumped the shark.
You had a good thing
Jump the
going, and it
Sharpedo.
just. Yeah.
Damn it! Even forever, remember to at least have some bout of tackling.
Gotta have the tackling.
Anyway,
I wouldn't mind seeing these characters again if they're put to better use. But it's just like their debut. I didn't care. Also, once again, Sean Shamel should not be voicing kids. Alright, now for our favorite character. The Mewtwo Award. That's your favorite character in this. Joe, will you go first?
Wonderful. Favorite character. It's either Gold or Hun in the English dub. You know what? I'll say Hun. If only because she's more interesting and has some spunk to it. I mean, with Gold, the main drawing point for me is just that it's Goku as a Pokemon trainer. And even still, he's kind of a moron. At least Hun doesn't seem to be a moron, surprisingly. I mean, she has a job, does it, uses type advantage, relatively smart.
Actively tries to kill the heroes.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? You go, girl. You actually think sensibly. Congrats, you are the best character in the cast of this thing.
Alright, I guess I'll go next.
Wait. Oh god, what am I saying? There's also the Dan Green character. He's great. But whatever, go on, Pedro.
You can't pick 2. Yes, Deji?
I know. Somebody else is probably going to pick him anyway.
Honestly, this is hard because they all suck.
Yes, they all do.
You know what? Let me go. No, I can't even choose Crocodile because it's like in the water gun does jack. It doesn't appear later. You know what? I'll go with Attila. Fine. Because he's voiced by Casey Jones. That's it.
Neat. Also, is it weird? But Veronica Taylor sounds pretty hot as Hun, honestly.
Moving on. Pedro, you want to go next?
My favorite character, I'm gonna have to go with Dan Green.
Eugene.
Dan Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Eugene because I don't like any of the characters in this thing, none of them whatsoever. So I can at least take solace that I can just watch Dan Green and pretend that I'm watching some kind of weird British version of Yugi, who somehow managed to get himself in here somehow.
It's like with me liking Gold only because I can imagine that he's literally a Super Saiyan deciding to do Pokemon training. Like that's the thing. If there's anything to like about these characters, it's mainly the voice actors behind them instead of, the actual characters themselves.
It's like I said, it's kind of like how when I'm watching, when I'm watching something like a Red Brown movie, and I can just enjoy it well because I can kind of play in my head the riff tracks / Mystery Science Theater commentary in my head. So at the very least, I do have that kind of escapism with Dan Green here. That's something. I know it's not anything worth. I'm just not something that sounds like much, but it's the best I've got. Sorry, I can't give you anything better than this. This is the best I've got.
All right. Tio?
I was gonna go with Han, but since the spot is vacant, I'm gonna go with Gold.
I said that you can choose.
Yeah.
No, especially because I don't want to argue again on that matter. So I'm gonna go instead with Gold. Because honestly, I do believe he's the one that's more sensible. Of the cast that's aiming the kids.
He does get stuff done.
Eugene is obviously, but a bit more. But he's the adult in the situation. Talking about just the kids. It's pretty much the movie manages to showcase the fact he's the protagonist. It's not like he's out of focus for the most part, and. A bit better in the original version, if I have to say, manages to, trying to pass on the message that he wants to reassure Raikou that mankind is not all terrible and he can start to trust him again, because that's the whole message, that Raikou is distrusting humanity, and, the actions of Team Rocket are another proof to him that Gold wants to actually prove that they're not all pieces of shit. So at least there is that. I agree that he could have showed a bit more Pokemon, but he's also seems to be one that is having a bit better when it comes to strategies, even if one involves literally going for a type disadvantage. But what the fuck do I know? I guess, especially considering the standards of the anime, it's a godsend, I suppose. But that's me. Next.
Sure.
The other half of this Team Rocket duo.
Attila?
Whatever. Only because, they are a package deal, and also, they were actually both fairly competent for different reasons as far as Team Rocket appearances in these movies go. And that's it.
I'm surprised none of us said Professor Elm, because he sounds like he sounds like Dwebs.
Okay, I was about to mention he's in
he gets
even
less than
less.
2 minutes of screen.
And it's still better than half the characters.
Honestly, it's not enough for me to even judge. It wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Now it's time for our favorite scene. Who wants to go first?
Actually, I'll do it because I want to keep it very simple. Sure. The fact at the beginning, easy as fuck. Like I said, it's good, it's simple, on point, no stupid music in the background, and no song, I mean, and it's the closest we actually get to something similar again to the game, complete with the payoff of the Pokémon Center right after. It's the perfect beginning, and it's the closest the anime probably has ever got to the games in my eyes. So I'm gonna give credit for what it is.
Nice.
Next.
I'll go next. My favorite scene is the Pokemon battle between Gold and Marina. If only because we do get to see how their personalities shine through. And you know what? Kudos to Gold for using the leveling feature and the fact that while Typhlosion may have a type disadvantage, he probably has more power and the ability to power through water attacks. Also, it's probably some of the most personality we see out of both of them, seeing how Marina likes to incorporate dances into her Pokemon introductions and how she has a more theatrical one, whereas Gold, again like Goku, is just more about the fighting and training. So, yeah, good stuff. Shame that scene got cut short.
Huh.
Next.
Phaedra,
Okay, we're doing what? Sorry, could you...
favorite
Favorite
scene?
scene.
Favorite scene.
Oh, favorite scene, sorry.
And no, the credits don't count.
Damn it! That was
I didn't say that. I'm in charge of this. You can choose that.
Oh, let me go next then.
All right, go, Sarah.
The movie being over. There we go.
Brilliant.
My favorite...
Well, there you go. We finally got a Pokemon movie that drove shit right to that answer.
My favorite scene...
Wait till you hear my score, but go ahead, Pedro.
My favorite scene is... I guess I'm gonna go with. Was there ever any point where in this movie where Vincent got hurt?
Yes.
Yes, like I said, where Marina falls
Okay,
on
that
top
works.
of him.
Yeah.
Sits
Okay,
on
that
him.
works. Vincent getting in pain,
So
being
the
in
scene-
pain is a good thing. So we'll go with that.
The face
So the
eating
scene
tiger.
where Marina sits on Vincent like the simp rug.
Sure.
mattress that he
Vincent
is.
being in pain is at the very least something that's at the very least somewhat cathartic. So there's that.
But Pedro, he kind of enjoyed that pain because it was in servitude of
Oh shit,
Marina,
you're right.
so
Hmm.
Some like it rough.
Keep in mind, Pedro, take solace in the fact that it's the closest he's ever gonna get.
Yes,
because,
this is the
it seems
this is the
that
closest.
Gold is whooping in
This is the closest thing he's.
to steal the
This is
GF.
the closest thing he's gonna get to getting some P word.
Booty,
Like
yes.
hell.
I
Booty,
mean,
yeah.
I got one I think you can agree with, Pedro.
Go ahead.
The butchering of Hitmonlee.
I don't like that scene.
He said, I said favorites.
This is favorite
Oh, we're
scene.
favorite
How
scene.
about
Okay, sorry.
how about this? I'll throw you. That's my most hated scene. There you go. There's one.
Okay.
As for
Okay.
as for favorite,
Yeah, you already said Vincent getting hurt.
well, that's the thing. Like Jova made a good point though. He's enjoying it. I'm trying to find something that gives me some kind.
It's not. It's not.
Is there
fun if
some?
you like
Okay,
I'm trying to find
how
something.
about
I got
when
it. I got
he's
it. I got
trying
it.
to
I got
tell
it. I
off?
got it. I found it. The scene in
Got
the
it.
dub where Attila's going like, "Your friend should have made fun of Caterpies." Where he's a big fan of Cater. Well, that wasn't a pun though, Tail. Like.
Well, it's about what you like, not me. Go on.
Because that's the one line in this entire thing that actually adds some kind of personality to one of these characters. It's better than just your generic "I'm gonna beat the crap out of you because I'm evil." Rah.
True that.
Because do some writing classes. Character writing always trumps generic dialogue. That's what writing teachers will tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so my favorite scene is I'm breaking my own rules here. The opening where it shows Jimmy's bonds with Triflosion and how his journey started. It's like, oh, that's cool, and like the intro it explains it poorly, but he did fight Silver at the
there's a
Pokemon
quick
League.
cameo of Silver.
Yeah, but he also fought him again at the Pokemon League and won. But it's like he didn't. He's not a league champion. It's heavily implied that it's obvious that he lost. And the Japanese version of when Vincent appears in the main series did say that Jimmy did enter it last year, and it's like he's hoping that he can do better. So it's something. My headcanon is that he lost to Paul.
The what now?
I said my headcanon is that Jimmy lost to Paul
Of what?
in the Pokemon League. Okay, and now it's time for favorite scene. Oh, at least favorite scene. I'll go first. When Vincent got the tie because they both involve Steelix. When Vincent uses Solar Beam against the Steelix, and it doesn't affect anyone. And it's like, why? Because it's steel. But it's like, it's part ground. It should do some damage. Or when the Raikou electrocutes the Steelix, even though it's part ground. It's like, no! Whatever. Next song, go. I don't care.
My least favorite scene. So many to pick from. I guess in the... Okay. This is something that's sort of exclusive to the Japanese version, but where they suggest that Raikou supposedly felt sorry for Team Rocket but couldn't forgive them. Like, no, that makes no sense. It was not established at all. It's just one of the many reasons that the Japanese version does not explain goddamn stuff well. And, like, no, it does not match up with what was shown as all. As far as I'm concerned, that is bullcrap. And no, that scene with Raikou running off does not look as awesome as you think it does, anime. Next.
Anyone?
I'll go next, why not? Oh... God, it's... No, I just don't... What I can actually mention is not even like a scene, so I don't want to... I want to be more specific about it.
Take your pick from the candy shop. There's plenty to go around.
Not really. That's only one major thing that I was pissed off about in terms of least favorite scene. But that's not even a scene, more like collection stuff, as in every time Attila speaks in a dub. But no, in terms of actual scene, yeah, that's something I can actually do. Of the moment where Marina gets kidnapped, right before we contact her via Pokegear, we get this tense moment where Eugene and Gold start talk about what they can do. It's very dramatic, and then out of nowhere in Beaver version, Vincent decides to do this comedic routine about, oh no, we kidnapped Marina, and he flashes onto the screen in a comedic fashion. It's too much of a tonal dissonance for my taste, either version of that. Next.
Pedro?
I already told you it's Molly's favorite scene, the one where Molly speaks.
Alright.
The destruction of a poor evil lead.
Sure, yeah.
Marina just being thirsty all the time.
Oh, I'm surprised that was your least favorite scene.
Okay, you want me to be a little more specific? When the movie started. There we go.
Okay.
The movie starting.
Okay. Let me see. Your favorite scene was the movie ending, and your least favorite scene is the movie starting.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm starting to see.
Complete cop-out, but I'm going with it because I do not like this movie.
Anyway, if we can wrap this up soon, this may or may not be our shortest podcast yet. So let's head over to the score, shall we?
Alright, TL, since you're the guest, go.
Sure. It's not great, not really. Regardless of the version, each version has something that doesn't work and something that does, so it's a matter of pick your poison in that kind of way. But I don't think it's the worst Pokemon OVA ever done. The animation is clearly showcasing that it was not meant to be these big, same as big as like theatrical release or even the later OVAs. The score is acceptable if you're watching the original version, but otherwise it just doesn't fit for the English dub. It's just that one was just a matter of licensing. So I'm not gonna give too much of a slack onto the movie. Okay. If I had to give it a score, I'm gonna give it a 5 because I don't think it's the worst thing ever. I still believe Heroes and Forever are far worse products.
This is nicer. He's nicer to us than any of us.
But it still has quite a bit of lost potential if you get down to it. So
You're very generous.
I'm not giving the sufficiency. Next.
Jova.
Shiroi?
No, Jova. Because I have a feeling.
I kind of want to see each other's scores before.
Trust me, it's better this way.
Look, I cannot back down from that 4 out of 10 I gave Pokemon Forever. This is worse than that. That said, I think the best way to describe this is that this is Dragon Ball Superheroes without the fun. What is Dragon Ball Superheroes? It's essentially the big extravaganza of, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this or that happened, and more or less used as the ultimate advertisement for some weird game over there. Whatever. We get to see all the cool different forms and whatnot. Imagine something like that without any of the fun, any of the weird, cool forms and whatnot, and it's just as basic as you can get. That is this. And I'd argue it doesn't even do the advertising job well for Crystal, because again, for a game that's supposed to be about Suicune, you have Raikou in the main starring position. And yes, I get it. Suicune technically already had Pokemon Forever, but still, don't you think people might be a bit confused with this thing suggesting that Raikou is the big star, only it turns out, yeah, well, nope. Now, I'd argue the English dub is worse, but yeah, like Tio said, both versions do have their problems. Overall, it's a pick your poison thing. Do you want a boring but arguably more stable adventure, or a possibly more annoying but more soulful adventure that also cuts down on some of the crap as well and mercifully ends the thing quicker and arguably explains stuff better? I'd have to give this a 2 out of 10. I'm reserving 1 and 0 for like stuff that's way worse. But 2 out of 10 is like, no, even for the actual job this thing was supposed to do, it didn't do well. Now look, if Pokemon Forever was higher on the scale, I might have given this higher, but no, in terms of scale, this is worse.
Sure.
So what, was 2 out of 10 the thing you masterfully predicted, Dave?
No, I thought you were going to be the nicest one out of all of us. Cheering your next.
No!
Wow, even Jova couldn't be nice about this. Wow.
I can't. Like I said, there's little to nothing of value from this thing, except for the value I can get from imagining that it's Goku,
like I said before,
and Yugimoto, and Ash as a woman fighting each other.
Just say, you can either, okay, if you're thinking of Ash as a woman, think of May.
Or, wait, no. Don't you mean Ashley?
No, May, because Veronica Taylor voiced both.
Oh. Yeah, May was a very good character crush of mine.
Yeah, but go on.
Back when
go
I was in.
go
But
on.
yeah, go on.
Sure.
Oh boy. I didn't see the Japanese version for reasons we already mentioned, but
We're not missing anything.
yeah, even though this one is supposedly slightly better, it's still incredibly boring, and Dan Green's funny accent and Team Rocket being somewhat competent aren't enough to save it at all compared to everything else. It's the one that feels the most like a bunch of episodes shoved together, which is what 4Kids made it. It wasn't originally that. And even then, like, it's not even... I'm not really that invested in it as an event, like as a special event as it supposedly was.
I think that's the problem. Like, well, it barely goes anywhere in terms of special events.
It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't barely go anywhere. It doesn't.
no.
Well, no, I mean, like, well, in cases of the sets, like, even with Mewtwo Returns, we went to something of an exotic location. What do we do here? We go to town, go to the Pokemon Center, go to these random-ass forests and cliffs, then go back to the Pokemon Center.
There's
like,
no
it's
actual
so
plot connecting any of these scenes. There's no plot thread to connect anything.
Oh no, there is. It's just not good. Because it's repetitive.
Saying it's no good is obvious, but I'm trying to actually dissect why it's not good. The reason it's not good, Dad, is because there's no actual plot connecting any of these scenes. We go to the Poké Center, then we go back to seeing Raikou get his ass kicked, but there's no actual plot connecting of these things. There's little to no reason for any of these scenes. Like, for example, why does Marina get kidnapped? Like, does it lead into some kind of cool scene where she has to use her smarts to escape, or maybe no? It's just so she can be there to be the damsel in distress, basically, so that Vincent and
Well, to be fair, she is the one who frees Raikou.
she does free Raikou, but then she immediately goes back into damsel in distress thing, and even then, the way she frees Raikou is basically an accident. She doesn't even know what the hell she's doing with those wires.
Like, okay, seriously, even Pokemon the third movie, which literally took place in one location, that felt like more of an adventure than this. If only because there was some high-end mystical shit going on. But no, not with this. It's so mundane.
It's like, okay, let me put it this way. The reason Pokemon Power of One feels quote-unquote more...
Wait. Does Shira give her final thoughts?
Sorry.
No.
Let her go, and then Pager, you're next.
Sorry.
Go on, Shira.
It's just... There's nothing to be invested in it. Not the characters, not the setting, just nothing. And usually we cover stuff that's just, very, very bad. Like, not with these movies specifically, but just in general. I always say that I'd rather feel something, even if that's anger, than be bored out of my mind. Here's one of the few examples we've actually covered of that. This one also gets a 2. I hate it so much.
Wow.
Do you hate it from it boring
you? Guys are quite generous.
Good.
But
wait.
Are you going for a
No, don't spoil. What?
Pedro, why don't you go next?
Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, here's when you can tell a movie is bad. When you cannot answer this question. What is this movie about? And by that I don't mean don't describe the basic events that happen. I mean, what's the theme of the movie? What the movie...
Trust.
Well, yeah, but is that theme...
You asked the answer, I provided one.
You don't have to act like that against me, by the way. But whatever. The point is, okay, it's about trust. Here's the problem. Raikou barely even trusts any of these characters until like the end. And the characters never at any point talk about the issue of trust. Yes, it's basically just 2 or 3 scenes where Gold is like, please trust us, Raikou, and like nope, and that's it.
And he doesn't even learn from this.
By that logic,
Marina saves him.
By that logic, I can say that Freddy Got Fingered is about father and son relationship.
I mean, it is just in a fucked up way.
Yes.
Get out.
Oh God, he's right.
Whatever. The point is, in order to something cannot be about something just because you have 1 or 2 occasional scenes that mention that topic. There has to be an actual thorough line throughout the entire movie that fleshes out this theme. That's how writing works. It's about. Let me put it this way. It's just it doesn't work like the way they want, because they don't flesh out any of the characters. They don't flesh out the theme itself. And for example, was there any actual reason for for example, this entire thing feels like something that was made on the cheap and on the rush, because they repeat the exact same action set piece 3 times. This thing feels creatively bankrupt because they have no idea what to do in terms of action, even. They're just repeating the exact same set piece over and over. It's just as a result, it doesn't work. The characters are not fleshed out. The jokes for the most part don't work. There's the occasional one, like the one with the Caterpie that I did thought was kind of amusing, but even then it's just the one. And as a result, this movie has little to nothing. They find it has nothing to offer in terms of basic writing value. Not really. It basically completely completely spits in the face of everything about how I can tell that the people who wrote this thing never read a single book on script writing or storytelling, because this movie basically breaks pretty much all the rules. And that's why it sucks. Like a lot of people who okay. I am aware that not a lot of people haven't read John Truby's Anatomy of Story. But even if you haven't read that book, you can still, even if you don't know why, you can still feel that this movie is bad. Like Deji's just saying the movie's bad. Like the reason I can explain why the movie's bad is because I can actually use the proper terms that I've learned to explain why this movie is bad. This movie is bad because there's no feral theme going on for the entirety of the OVA. Yes, there's the occasional mention of trust, like Teo said, but that's about. But yeah, that's about it. Like the movie doesn't. Okay, here's what they do. You wanted to have an issue about trust? Here's an idea for a scene. How about a scene where Vincent, for a change, does something useful and has a conversation with Gold about I don't understand. Or let's use Eugene. This is the one who's the legendary expert. How about a moment where Eugene makes himself useful for the plot and actually has a heart-to-heart with Gold? Look, you have to understand that Raikou has been beaten by the humans various times. Hell, Pokemon Forever did this better because Pokemon Forever showed Celebi being hurt.
Actually, don't they have that kind of speech right after Raikou escapes the Pokemon Center and Eugene arrives?
They do give a brief history lesson about Raikou, specifically, like people try to capture him to use its power.
Yeah, but that's not what I mean, though. What I mean is that I want a heart-to-heart emotional scene where Eugene and Gold have some kind of talk about this, because just mentioning it out loud that carries no weight. You need to have the characters talk about this. Like the third movie did this. Well, we haven't gotten to that yet, but the 8th movie does that, and it's just like and that's the problem. Okay. Even if you don't know the exact reasons, this is why the movie sucks. Even you can always tell why something works because this is how storytelling works. Sorry, but anyway, I could be generous and give this a 1. But even the animation is not particularly good in this one.
Oh boy, this one's about to get the Pedro Super.
So I'm sorry, but there's what little occasional 2-second amusing line or scene this movie may have. It barely carries any weight for me to even increase the grade. So I'm gonna have to just give thing a big 0, an F-, because nothing. Because what
is that allowed?
Yes.
Really?
Because even when they do try to bring up the issue of trust, they don't actually go forward with it. Here's an idea. Instead of repeating the same action sequence for the second time, how about spend 10 minutes talking about trust? There you go. Like, or are Pokemon movies above such thing as talking scenes?
Guys, it's not too late to change your answers.
No, they aren't. The third movie exists, and how the fourth movie had talking scenes. Like,
look. For as much as we clowned on the fourth movie at least did have something to say. Granted, that was more so in the English dub, which salvaged it because in the Japanese dub it just had an environmental message that got mucked up badly by that stupid-ass Deus Ex Machina. But still, it had things to say. Mind you, the main reason I gave this a 2 out of 10 instead of 0 is because I do get the feeling there may be worse on the way still.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, go on, Pedro.
No, that's basically it. Like, this movie is a complete failure that doesn't know what the fuck it wants to do. Well, okay. Even if it knows what it's trying to do, it clearly shows that it has no idea how to achieve it. So,
like I said, it doesn't even feel like it got the whole commercial advertising thing right, because Raikou's the star instead of Suicune for a game advertising Pokémon Crystal.
And there's even that bit that I mentioned before. Even when they do try to have those moments where Raikou's looking at Gold, his face looks silly, so it's quite distracting as well. So even that can be a bit of an issue, because, again, couldn't you at least have the animators close his mouth for those bits?
Maybe his teeth are so big he can't close it properly.
That's not how it works. So.
And I have no idea why they bothered to do it.
Anyway, that's it for me.
Dad, are you gonna be
Daddy?
the one who's nice to this, I guess?
Well, Teo was already kind of that, so.
No.
Remember, my vote doesn't count.
Well, yeah, his don't really
Alright,
count
so
because he's the
Pokemon
guest.
The Legend of Thunder was an OVA that I saw back when I was a kid, and I absolutely hated it. And then I find out years, but I just couldn't put my finger onto why. Now watching it, I just realized there is no plot. I mean, there technically is, but it's just so repetitive. It goes nowhere. I don't care what happens to any of these characters because they're
I'm
not.
curious, how did you catch this as a kid? Because, hey, look, I was a bit of a Pokemon nut back in the day. Never saw any hide or mention of
Oh,
this.
Okay, so this was when they were starting Pokemon Chronicles, and they were airing it on Toonami instead of Saturday morning, and like I wanted to see it, but I couldn't because I had to go upstate to see my brother in college. This was before I entered middle school. So what he did was just download all 3 episodes, and I watched it, and I'm like, this is boring. That's how I saw it. Thanks, Livewire, before you corrupted my family computer.
Normally when I hear Livewire, I just think Lori Petty from the Superman animated series, and that's something I'd rather be watching instead
Sorry,
of this.
LimeWire, but yeah, I just don't care. I just thought, oh, maybe it was because 4 kids watched it, but like even then, it's like, what was the point? Why?
To advertise Pokemon Crystal,
Yeah,
of
but
course.
it's like, dude, they got 2 aspects right. The character, the male and female protagonist, not the legendary in the box. I just maybe if they had were shown in the main series as well, just to see it, because everyone tells me this is all about world building, and it's like, yo, it's. And I just saw
world building.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it doesn't focus on Ash, and it's like that's so much better. I'm like, no, this big
no.
like he's
like
not.
I said, we spend the entire thing stuck in essentially 1 or 2 locations, world building my ass.
Because
why did we never got an actual anime about Snap?
About Snap?
That's actually a good question.
An actual spin-off, about Snap.
I mean, yeah, an anime based off of Pokemon Snap, that?
Like, again,
That
I'm
could
I'm
work.
cool with them showing off other characters just to see the other's perspective.
The protagonist. Well, actually, there was an episode of the anime where the protagonist.
No, that's what I mean. Why we never follow up on that with a set of episodes similar to this, but dedicated to Snap?
Yeah, I kind of wish too, 'cause especially since they kept promoting Ranger, and Mystery Dungeon. But yeah,
Both of which got movies.
Oh my god, we have to watch this. But yeah, this sucks, and everyone who told me this was good, I disagree. So I'm giving this a 0 as well, because nothing happens.
Wow.
I saw this 4 times in the span of a week, and I still can't grasp my finger on it. Pedro, what was the comparison that you compared to that Johnny Bravo clip?
I'm sick
All right, I forgot. Okay, allow me. Here's this movie in a nutshell, as told to us by a great clip from Johnny Bravo that parodies early 2000s anime. Your clan is weak and still will mine is strong. Well, you sacrifice story content for mindless violence and lack of structure. Oh yeah, let's fight. You'll never beat my clan. She's super strong. Oh yeah, well, Macroman has laser beams. And then they just start basically just throwing beams at each other. And then it's like, my clan has won. And you can too if you go to the store and buy our toys. Buy our toys. Buy our toys. That's basically what this movie in a nutshell is.
Okay.
And now I spit all over my screen.
I will say this. If we do not come across a Pokemon movie that is worse than this, I may alter my score to 0. That's it.
We'll see how it goes.
I do get the feeling there may be something worse out there.
Yeah,
there were
there is one thing that can top this, and that's like the most non-canon thing that they were forced to make because change of voice cast.
Do I dare ask?
Don't worry, we'll get to it. So, in a
I was gonna say, leave that one as a surprise.
Yes.
Actually.
So, in a total,
Thing did
this is a 4.
in terms of official score. Well, that's the thing, Dids. In terms of official scores, me and Shiroi were technically the most generous to this. Now, if we're counting guest scores, Tio was with his 5 out
I mean,
of
that would
10.
still be if we count TL, that would be a 9. It's still our
Yeah,
lowest.
that's still less than double digits.
Yes.
Like,
This is our lowest score. Oh.
I mean, that's the movie's fault, not ours. So you know.
Yeah, like, okay. Honestly, answer me this, Dej. Are you surprised it turned out this way?
Yes, because I figured I would be the only one that hates this, but no. But I kept warning you guys, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, and then, and it's like, okay.
Well,
I think you may have underestimated how bored I was while we were watching that movie.
No, because I kept hinting at it for months. So I just figured, oh, okay, maybe I'm in the wrong. Like, nope. I've shown you guys that. I've shown you the light.
Like, no, honestly, you didn't even need to be the one who showed me this. Like, it's so boring. And like, look, okay, honest question. What do the people who love this see in it?
Because it doesn't focus on Ash.
That's a stupid reason,
That-
at least to me.
Yeah, that's a very stupid reason. If anything, Ash is a good enough vehicle to world build off of. Like, look, say what you will about Ash, but he helped the plot flow. Like, yeah, there's the whole championship thing. Whatever. It happens to people. People can lose. You can lose in the games here. He didn't let that get him down and whatnot.
Doesn't explain the brain farting for the entirety of the Black and White season, though.
Oh!
We'll get to
Look,
it.
if we ever tackle anime series, you can assure Black and White's gonna go on blast.
If we do that'll be when I eventually make a Patreon, and that becomes a stretch goal because there's no way we're doing
Anyway,
that. But oh my god, this is insane.
Well, Dej, it got made. Are you proud? The one you've been looking forward to all along?
Yep, I win. I win in the long run.
you win.
But yes,
Wait, you win? Wait. Dej, you watched this movie 4 times in a row.
I
does
heard
that
people
come up-
suffer. It drove Pedro to drink, so that's a victory on my end.
You're such a good friend, Dej.
I get
Oh.
the feeling, Dej, that this movie just corrupted you.
I was just
Yes.
checking. I was just checking something.
He wasn't drunk.
I was taking a look through some of the pages here. Allow me to take this quote from John Truby from the book and anime story that really applies to this movie. No individual element in your story, including the hero, will work unless you first create it and define it in relation to all the other elements. As in, what does gold? The problem with the whole trust thing is that go and.
Allow me. Gold's relation to Marina is a character is that she wants to jump his bones.
That's not a relation. There you go. There's a problem because the only thing that they, like Theo said, potentially attempt to do is the relation between him and Raikou
Raikou.
actually. With the whole trust
yeah.
thing, but again, that never really gets fleshed out. And like I said, since since there's literally nothing else. That's why the story fails, because there's nothing in there for the audience to chew on. There you go.
Look, to paraphrase from Space Jam, as Michael Jordan put it, can we go home
Yes.
now?
Anyway, since we're done, and here, it's a song. Let's lead us off at the next Pokemon movie.
No, Jova,
What?
you sing it.
It's the Sonic Heroes theme song. So go ahead. I just Pokemon.
Oh. No.
Wait. So now you want to sing it, Roy?
No. Jova, you do it. I have no soul at the moment.
Pokemon heroes, bind you, confine you, defying your brain. Pokemon heroes,
allow me.
A Latias, a crush on ass. Oh, this is what they thinking. It was a reason to writing a plot.
no, that was a brave. That was a
Yeah, that's good.
that was a brave.
That's the laughter of someone without a
That was a
soul.
brave attempt, Joel. But I'm gonna have to be sorry and say that you are definitely no Johnny Gioeli.
Well, obviously, like only
Hey, he did a better job than I.
Good night, everybody.
Right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Deji, was this a case of I saw this, so now you have to?